Good morning. My name is Margarita Diaz, and I am a senior at Colorado Academy. The title of my speech is My Story to Tell. This is my story. I am a Chicana, which in technical terms means although both of my parents were born in Mexico, I was born in the United States, therefore making me a citizen of this country I call my home. I am the first generation in my family to be Mexican-American. Monday, December 10th of 2018 was a day in which I would never forget. My sister, who was an alumni of CA and graduated in 2010, received her citizenship, or in other words, her naturalization. What this means is she's now able to call America her home now that she is a citizen of this country. But let's rewind. My family has been permanent residents since immigrating to the United States to have that fresh start. What residents and citizens have in common is the ability to live in the U.S. legally. What we have as citizens that we take for granted is being able to express ourselves when it comes to voting for elections of public officials. The process to become naturalized is most certainly not a simple one, but my sister got it done. The term to be a declared citizen of this country takes 5 years after being a permanent resident. So going back to the day of the ceremony, it made me proud to see just how many countries were being represented by citizens of that country finally receiving their U.S. citizenship. There were 28 countries represented that day, such as Germany, Poland, the United Kingdom, Jamaica, South Korea, Pakistan, and many more. The most important one for me, Mexico. After announcing each country, the citizens representing that country would stand up, and applause came after from the audience. When Mexico was announced, there was almost 10 people who had stood up, when the max number before was just about 3 people. The announcements for each country were made in alphabetical order, and after only seeing 1 to 3 people stand up, seeing almost 10 people being represented by Mexico made me laugh and smile and feel proud. Identifying as a Chicana, it made me feel proud to see that my country was being represented in this ceremony. Mexico to me means the absolute world, as it is a place of my origins. My family grew up in the small town of Torreon, which is located in Coahuila. To see where my family grew up was an extremely different environment than what I was used to. Driving around the town, I noticed there was not much color around and it was very bland and brown. There are 2 sides of the country. The first side, some of you may be familiar with, the beaches, the resorts, and the inclusive community. The second side is the real part of Mexico. There's extreme poverty. The women and children are forced to work long hours in extreme weather conditions. They have no human rights, and don't get me started on animals. My family, specifically my mother and my sister, helped me to see this trip for what it was, my culture, my heritage, and a part of my story that I had not known until I had taken this trip. The facial expressions I could see from people exemplified exhaustion. My mother and I then went to a local park, which, believe me, I definitely could have gotten lost in. It was ginormous. The park was very green, and we approached many stands where people were selling things such as food, clothes, instruments, and toys. This caught my eye quickly, as the clothes and toys were extremely vibrant in color, and the patterns on the dresses and sweaters were unique. This to me represented the color that really pulled my trip together. Although the town itself looked sad and bland, this park was filled with the utmost color. Every bite of food you take, the food right away melted in your mouth. This made me realize that the value of the town and my origins were in the little things, and that's immediately what I felt when I saw 10 citizens of Mexico finally get their U.S. citizenship. I felt what they felt in terms of sticking through and persevering through the exhausting process of being a naturalized citizen. I could sympathize with them, being from the same cultural background, and feeling a sense of belonging in their new home, as I finally felt that belonging after my trip to Mexico and seeing my origins. I was able to see who I was, where I came from, and be proud of my heritage, while also being proud of being an American citizen. I saw everyone in that room that day come together as a family celebrating their citizenship. This moved my heart because despite the different skin colors people had, whether having white, brown, or black colored skin, they came together with love and care. For me to see these newly declared citizens of the U.S. hugging, shaking hands, sharing tears of joy and smiles was a powerful moment without the need of speech. Having a family as supportive as mine and I'm sure the newly naturalized citizens had a family that supported them just as well, is very valuable. Surround yourself with people who will always love and support you, as that is the most important thing in order to reach your potential. Where I come from, that being Mexico, is where my family history lies. But as well, my family stays with me every day. They help me, they support me, and they love me to do things like this, sharing my story with you all. So I hope you know me a little better, and I hope that when you hear the word Chicana, you will have a richer landscape and vision. I hope you can all today walk away being proud of who you are and where you come from, and I encourage you all to share that story. Whatever your story is, don't be afraid to share. Thank you.